That's the camera I got. Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. Mark, we have a great guest on here tonight. Been waiting a long time to get Dave on here. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's
Looks like
hot.
you're busy.
Yeah, I got to get few jigs out, so I figured while we were talking,
Mark,
So
everybody can watch me mess them up.
how many do you need to tie tonight?
36.
Oh, piece of cake.
Yeah, it was,
not too bad.
I'm lucky if I can tie what, Lyle? 6 or 9 during our jig tying sessions when we do them on here.
I don't know. I've got a desk full. Of course, I've got a box or two full sitting around here, but we won't get into that.
No.
well, these ones are pretty simple. There's no flash or nothing like that. It just a feather and chenille, and we're done.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, we'll sit here and watch you do that while we go. There's Kim Burnett. While we go through the people in chat. What do you say, Mark?
I'd love to say hello to all the good people out there. I see Air Run just popped in. I see Avid Fisherman in the house. There's my buddy, Brian B. Catfishing. Carmel Muncie in the house. There's the great Miss Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Crappie Day Fish on in the house. Jeremy, the Bull Shark Slayer Creole Catfishing. How you doing? Dale Hayslip, what's up, buddy? Dan Thompson, there's my buddy Richard over at Fishing Freedom. Freddie's Outdoor Adventures, what's up, Freddie? I don't fish, just like the comments. I think that's a new one, Lyle.
I do too, and I like it.
I do too. It's all mine in the house. How you doing? She made some jalapeno mango ice cream, bacon ice cream.
That. It looked really good, didn't it?
I would try it. I don't hate that idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Joe Buck 66 in the house. There's K&B Anglers. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing? There's Kim Burnett again. What's up, Kim? There's my buddy Lance McCoo guy, the Hawaiian fisherman. P&B Catfishing, also known as Paul Boyd. What's up, Paul? There's our buddy Troy over at Real and Virtual Outdoors. Sandy over at Silver Fox Fishing is here. There's my buddy Super Smurf, Eric Fishing. Super Dave, moderator extraordinaire from SK's chat. Tackle Box Mike in the house. There's Kelly over at the Bullock Experience, Travis Young, and my good friend Van over at V3 Customs. Let's see if I missed anybody.
I got coming up against Van. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Him and I's got a little bet going on.
I heard about that last night. Or was it the night before?
The night before.
You want to talk about that?
Well, what was the whole thing last night about a bull shark?
Jeremy over at Creole Catfishing fishes on the Chafalaya, which is part of the Mississippi River system down there in Louisiana, 130 miles out of the Gulf Coast, and he happened to land like 2 bull sharks in the last
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I think I'd stop fishing there. I don't know. I'd probably get a bigger pole, but
I'm thinking I'm not going to be doing no swimming in none of that water.
Well, his son got one, so he didn't get them both, but his son did get one.
But still, it's his boat. I mean,
this is true. It's a team effort when you're out there.
Idea would be out there.
I'm not interested in none of that. Not that they wouldn't be fun to catch. I'm quite sure that they are. But no, I don't need in the water.
I'd like to try it once in my life. I'm not going to lie. You know, he posted a picture of them swimming around with their fins above the water. I'm thinking you don't even need a fish finder. They show you where they're at.
Boys Catfishing says you missed him twice, Mark.
Oh, sorry, John Boys. I'm sorry. Apologize. Forgive me.
There's Troy with Real and Virtual Outdoors, too.
There's Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV. What's going on,
Parker? Glad to see Jerry in here.
Jerry Parker, Danny Stone Outdoors. What's up, Danny? Hey, guys, I want to point out something real quick before we get any further. We are at 943 subscribers. If you could share us out, now and in the future, let's get this channel up to 1K. We'll do better in the search engine, bring some more people in the YouTube search engine, bring some more people into the chat, and make some more friends. That overlaps into all our channels, and it also is an opportunity to make a lot of new friends and acquaintances. Wouldn't you agree, Lyle?
I would, and I want to thank Haz and Brian B for helping us out. Gained a bunch of them last week. There's Stephanie with Real Gals Fish. Glad to see her in here tonight. Carmel Muncie, Ron Porter. They keep coming in. So we're glad you all are joining us this evening. Like I say, please give us a like if you like the content that we're providing for you on Thursday evenings. And if you haven't subscribed, it'd be a great honor if you would, because we're trying to make that milestone of 1,000, and we're really close. We're at 945, so we only need, what is it, 55 more.
Okla Trophy Flatheads. There's a name I can get behind right there.
Heck yeah. That's got to be close to me. If it's Oklahoma Trophy Flatheads, I'm in Southwest Missouri. It ain't that far.
Well, Oklahoma's 35 miles south of me, so.
Oh, you're way down south now. Are you on the west
yeah.
side or the east side?
I'm about 40 miles west of Wichita.
Okay.
So.
You're not too far.
It's going on 922.
So.
Do you believe this, Lyle? Look at this. We're trying to have a show here with the great guests, and Eric is talking smack.
Oh, Eric, you have no idea what's in store for them guys. Jody and Coach and I are going to lay it on them like they have never had it. And I know Mark, he's already out getting bait. So them guys are trouble.
I just hope the spawn's over. Oh, did I say that out loud? What's up, Squirrel?
Frank says gas prices and food prices got him cutting a few trips back. I completely understand, Frank. We haven't been out. I was just before the show started. Mark and Dave and I was talking, and gas has actually went down a little bit. Of course, they're wanting your vote selection here, but I have to go out and put gas in my boat, and I've been dreading it. I want to wait till the last minute before I do that, and it's down to crunch time because even at 100, when Chad started his show, it was still 101 degrees here. It's down to a whopping 95 right now, but I can only take this so long. I'm going to have to put the lights back on the boat and fish at night, or we're just going to have to tough it out and go sit out in that hot water and fish, because you can only stay cooped up in the air conditioning so well. I might be able to stay a little longer than you think. I like air conditioning, but you got to get out and go. I mean, drove out. I had to go to the store a while ago, and I drove back out to the spot where I lost my jig that day. Made that little short video, and there's no flow. The water's got stuff all over it, kind of stagnant looking. But there was a guy upstream from the bridge, and he was fishing. I don't know if he's catching anything or not, but the water's really low. We haven't had any rain in over 4 weeks. But next week and the week after, we're supposed to get some, and guess who's going to be out? So I want to go get some gas in the boat and make sure everything's ready to go. And if I have to put the lights back on it, when I light that baby up, it's like going to a ball diamond behind me, so everybody can see what's happening. I promise you.
Cody was just asking me if I'm fishing here on the Fox. We got a flathead tournament. I think it's called King of the Fox. I don't have a boat with a big enough live well, so I will not be fishing that. That usually keeps me off of that. So if I have a person up in front of my boat, it usually floods the live well that's in there. So I guess I could stop it up, but I don't know if I want to put 900 pounds of weight in front of my boat.
Did you mention that K&B Angling is in here?
I did.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, speaking of sinking boats, there will not be any kayak videos from me for a minute.
Uh-oh.
I've gained enough weight since Naomi's had her accident that the back end of my kayak sits about a half inch underwater. I mean, I just have a 10-foot, ascend. So
you just got to go with one of them 13-footers.
I know. I dreaded not buying the 12 when I had the chance. And now I was like, I'm stuck in what to get. There's so many good kayaks under $1,000. It's like, which one do you get?
Well, you can't go wrong then. That's the way you got to look at that.
So, I mean,
that's exactly
now just coming up with $1,000.
Lyle, which kayak would you get if you were going to get one?
I don't know enough about that to make an honest evaluation, but didn't you brought that up? Your brother James Dockery has been after me and after me and after me. And I actually have been considering that. I might, of course, he's going to have to prove to me he's got one that'll hold my big ass up if I drive all the way up there to crawl in one. But I'm not as non-kayak, how do I want to say this? I'm not as non-kayak oriented as I once was. I really still don't have a desire for one, but there has been brought to my attention the advantages of them. Makes a lot of sense. Like you don't have to buy no gas for one.
Or
you can fly fish off them, Lyle.
Or you don't have to have any. Your legs don't have to work that great neither. So
yeah, there's a lot of advantages.
That's the reason why I did it, was just the pure freedom. I mean, I'm kind of stuck, whether with the wheelchair and everything, you're stuck. Where do you go try to fight the mud? Do you go, just go sit on the boat ramp and annoy everybody because you're in the way, or what? You just got to figure it out. And my easiest solution was just get a kayak. So,
well, I
just got to watch out for all the guys in them, 400, horsepower boats that want to go 100 mile an hour.
I'm not, the way my legs swell, I'm not sure I'd be able to pedal one. But
yeah,
since I've had both shoulders partially replaced, or I think I could paddle one, because it's not completely out of the realm of it, but I still ain't getting on no ice.
You're just not going to be doing no Olympic racing on your kayak.
I am not.
You know what? You get yourself a lithium battery in there, and you get yourself a trolling motor on there, Lyle. You will be hauling.
Yeah. And the good thing with the kayak, you don't need that big of a troll. I mean, you go buy $100 trolling motor.
Yep.
If I got a motor on there, I want the biggest one it'll handle. You know what I mean? Why would you go 2 mile an hour when you can go 9?
Well, but my thing is here's what I want to do is I want to get a 13-foot, 12 to 13-foot kayak. And I want to get one that has a flat enough spot on the front that I can mount a motor on the front. And then, but I want, like the iPilot or whatever, where, the GPS, I want that. So right there, even though the kayak's only $1,000, I'm already $2,500 into a kayak.
Exactly right.
So, if not more.
Look at this. Danny Stone says, Lyle, my wife just hooked your channel. It took me a year to get her to do mine. What the heck? Crap. Danny, tell her thank you so much. We appreciate it very much.
That's because we got a good-looking guest. That's why, Lyle.
That's exactly right.
See, you're lying to these people now.
We're talking about everything except what we're supposed to be talking about.
There's a reason why I have a beard.
Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself, buddy.
No, well, for one thing, I'm in a wheelchair, so that's kind of, it's not obvious I'm on camera here, but if you look at my channel and stuff, you see me in a chair. And it's just an accident happened out the farm, and since then, I'm just trying to find things to do, and I've always loved tying jigs and flies. And so, back when I was a kid living down in Texas, aunt and uncle had a bait shop, so I got a fly vise from there. I think it was like a little kid or something. And I thought I seen it the other day, was a box, but I still have the box somewhere, but it's just one of those little, I don't even know what brand it was or nothing, but it came with a vise, scissors, a whip finisher, and something else. And I tied with that for years. Of course, my flies and jigs always, looked like crap when I was a kid, but it just takes time. And now
mine look like crap now.
Yeah, some of mine do too. Those are the ones I take and use for myself. But now my biggest thing is trying to teach my boys. I have 2 autistic adult children, and trying to teach them how to tie jigs and go fishing and stuff. They tied a few jigs. They try to, and they do a good job, and they work with really well. But explaining something to them, you have to go step by step by step by step. Well, what better place to also put that and then on YouTube, so anybody and everybody can learn. So it just kind of developed from that. And then, I realized, hey, you can make money selling jigs if you're at the lake and you're catching a bunch of fish and they're not. And what's really fun is when you're using your jigs and you're catching more than the guys with the buckets of minnows. So
when I first found you, of course, I find a lot of people on YouTube. I find a lot of them on Facebook also. But when I found your channel and you was tying jigs, and started following you, the next thing I know, you and your boys are out fishing. Well, that just makes it so much easier for me to like what you're doing because you're fishing and you're doing it with family. Plus, you
Yeah,
make your own jig. So I mean, you're doing everything that I do except
yeah.
a little different.
Well, and now jigs cost so much, and
Yep.
I mean it's if you're gonna go crappie fishing on a regular, there ain't no need. If you, I mean, just find the size that you like. If you like 1/8 ounce, go buy an 1/8 ounce mold. Even if you got to get a little tippy pot or something, and do whatever. Uh, I mean, I got a buddy into tying jigs for under $150, and that's getting a mold and a little pour pot. I mean, granted, he bought the pour pot used and things like that. So,
Well, so you're pouring jigs. You're going from
oh
start
yeah, I
to finish.
do. I pour all my jigs I tie. I pour the heads. I have I'm trying to think all the heads I got. I got round heads, and then I've got Ned rig. Whoops, some Ned rig stuff, and just play around. And I even got a new mold the other day that is some 64th stuff.
Ooh, right up Lyle's alley there.
Yeah, now I'm going to tie some 12s. Oh, here you go. Tiny little things.
Yeah,
Now
they
I'm
are.
going to tie some 12s, and I think those will be small enough.
You know,
With these old glasses, I may not be able to have my.
I know the feeling. Oh boy.
my good
Well,
friend James Dockery likes really small jigs, and he'd probably be mad at me for telling people that, but most of the stuff he fishes with is pretty tiny. And I'll come up with something like I sent him a picture of this the other day, something that I come up with that when I was playing around the other night. It's a squirrel tail woolly booger, and I sent him a picture of some of them. He says they're too big. You're fishing for bluegill; they're too big. So I use a certain kind of hook because I use a long shank hook is why they look so big. But that way they don't swallow them, and I can reach in there and poke them with my finger and get the hook out. And if they're down deep in them, and I don't lose the fish because I don't unless I get a whole bunch of them that are 7-8 inches long, I don't keep any to eat because they're too much trouble to clean for
yeah.
me. But
I got a guy that he uses this stuff for crappie, and you can see that compared to my fingernail.
right,
I
right,
got to get that in there.
yeah.
That thing's only just a little over an inch long, but that's all he wants.
But I don't do my own jigs. I melt lead and I make sinkers and all kinds of weights. I've got I don't know how many different molds.
Time to expand operations, Lyle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and I do the same thing. I've got uh, up to 5-ounce bank weight for chunking. So for the guys
yeah, I've got up to 24.
paddle fish and bank lines, and I do no rolls, and
Yep, I do
it
too.
just I got a buddy that has a tire shop, so lead's easy to come by. And when I paid $20 for a 5-gallon bucket of it, you got to search through there, and probably getting rid of 20% of it's just waste.
Yeah. I just go to Jason Brummel and when I need jig heads and I say I need this many of and I've got some of them 1/80th like Kim are talking about. They're awesome. But I've got them all the way up to an 1/8 ounce also, and I'm probably going to get some bigger ones one of these days. But I've got plenty for right now.
I have that problem in the winter though that I can't see it. My fingers go numb when we're on the ice. When I'm trying
There you go.
small, forget about it. Look at
Let me
that.
give you a full screen. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll tie all these in the next few days, and then I should be caught up with my orders by then. I've been getting behind lately.
Hey, David, all that fluff and stuff is from Australia. And she's asking, she says, I've never used a jig. Wouldn't know how. What are their purpose? I don't know.
Oh,
I was going to tell her to catch
lure.
Yeah,
imitate a minnow or a mud.
Yep.
You know, and I've caught, you guys was, so I think this was last week. Somebody said something about catching a catfish or something when they were jigging for crappie and stuff.
Yep,
we do that. When we get our crappie sometimes come on late. And this year our crappie were running until probably, the 8th or 9th of June. And we were catching a bunch of catfish at that time. We were catching about every crappie we'd catch a catfish. And then Gregory's hiding up around the corner. Well, when I made the video that had me and my son and his girl out there catfishing, Gregory was around the corner, and instead of jigging for crappie like he thought he was jigging for catfish. He probably caught 20 catfish that were about that long.
Perfect size right there for eating.
Yeah, that's right.
But we don't just do, I mean, mostly what we do is panfish stuff. Almost all my jigs, we use almost everything I tie. And then I tie a bunch of weird stuff too. I tried to get Gregory to use a fly rod, and he's just not into the whole fly rod. So the other day I tied up some little, we have Japanese beetles around here, is what they call them, little black beetles. And so I tied up some of these little bugs. Did you see Gregory run behind me real quick? But I tied up some of these little deer hairs with it's just got some sparkle underneath. See if we can kind of see.
But
it's just deer hair folded back a couple times to get the ends, and we'll see how those do.
A wise man told me one time that you need to make them look like a bug. Yeah. Bugs are what these panfish eat, and that wise man was Kim Burnett.
Well, I was running around town, and what Gregory's like, ooh, look, there's a bug on the ground. So there was a bug on the ground, and I went home and I made the fly after the bug.
There you go.
So.
Match the hatch. That's why they call it that.
That's exactly right. 100%. 100%. So what are you tying tonight, Dave?
Oh, I just it's actually funny because I think it's the same jig that you had for my picture thumbnail.
Good looking bug.
It's just kind of a gray tail and a white chenille body, little flash in the chenille. Then
chenille's really hard to come by right now.
That's what I know. I got lucky. I found a good deal. I got some pink. I got this lot of pink, and I only paid $20 for it, so I felt like I was doing a good deal.
Yeah, that's a bargain. It's
got a lot of skips in it though, where you just see a lot, like an inch of line, but it is what it is.
I got a message from Woods and Water. I buy a lot of stuff from them. I'll get a lot of it from what's his name? It's on with Kim and shoot, can't think of his name. But anyhow, they got a big shipment coming in. Should be in this fall, and he made the announcement that he sent me was they'd have a bunch of it coming in, probably in 3 or 4 different orders. The way I understood it, yeah. Steve, thank you, Kim. Steve at Limits Tackle. I buy a lot of stuff from Steve. I buy a lot of feathers from Steve, and his feathers are really, really nice. I like them. He puts them in a plastic bag, ships them to me, and you can get all the colors you want. The first time I ordered from him, I said, just send me a bag of the most popular stuff you got. Well, I don't know how many bags. So that all must be pretty popular, and that works for me because, he sells enough of it. He knows what he sells a lot of. And Steve's honest, treats you right. His prices are right, and I love doing business with him. I've got these Gamakatsu boxes. I've got a bunch of these. I know you do too, Mark. And he's got a great price on those. So give the man some business. I mean, yeah, there you go.
You got a link? You got a link to him?
Just Limits Tackle.
Limits Tackle on Facebook. Easy to find.
Yep, it's real easy to find. And his name's Steve. He's on Wednesday nights
With SK.
with SK and Kim, and the other night Bluegill was on there. And he has a video out, by the way. Bluegill had a video out I watched the other day with Steve in the boat with him, and they was catching bluegill. So, pretty nice video to watch. If you get a chance, go take a look at it. Hello, Melissa. Glad to see you in here. I see Brenda's made it in. Take down catfishing. How you doing, Kenneth?
Kenneth Powell, the man. You know, he was singing last night. We're not going to get into that, though.
Yeah, I missed that. There you go, right there. Limits Tackle on Facebook.
There you go.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate it.
Since we got links out there, why don't we make sure that we go check out Dave's channel, Double Hook?
Yep, absolutely.
A link in the description, or if someone could get him his
There is a link in the description.
links in the description, go over there, check out his content, and if you like what you see, which I'm sure you will after watching it, go ahead and sub, hit that bell notification. Let's see if we can get you guys to be subs over there too.
Tackle box. Mike wants to know what lures are in that box. Well, I have a stack of about 8 of them here, and I will just open up this. This is the top one, and you can take a look at what's in it.
I like that orange, Lyle.
Yeah. Now, remember that I have a green screen, so if any of them has green on them, they will not show up. And all of these that I have currently, they're all full. I have one that's right here on my desk that's got about 3 or 4 slots open, and I'll be putting some of the stuff I'm tying up now in that box to finish it up. And these are the ones that I use personally when I go out and I try them out, and we'll determine if they're a hot action or not, and then they go into my collection series. So in the spring, summer, fall, and winter, you'll know what's hot, and each one of them will have a different thing. Thank you, Creole. But yeah, that's how we do that. And if I tie up something and I can't get a fish to bite on it, or I send them to like James or somebody else, whoever it might be, and they don't get nothing, then they go out of the rotation. You know, we don't use them if they don't catch fish. They ain't no good. But
Now, my
part, there's a place and a time for all of them.
the jig I use the most here in South Central Kansas is disco gold head and black or brown body with an orange tail, and I do it on a 16th or a 32nd, and it it works great. But we have mosquito fish here that are right next to the bank, so it matches their color pretty good.
Frank, if I could do that, I could probably get wealthy. I wished I could tie one that looked like that. I probably could if I spent enough time doing it, but I've got too many other projects right now. But that's the reason I've left that up there. That's such a pretty little fish, and I would love to catch one of them so I could get my own personal picture of it. Now, I did see something you guys might find interesting the other day. Noah is a guy that has a website. He's on Facebook, and he has what do they call them? Anyhow, he studies fish for a living.
Biologist.
Yeah, he's a biologist.
Biologist, yeah.
Yeah, and he studies a lot of bluegill and crappie and panfish size stuff. The guy made some glass containers to take pictures when he's out in the field. So he goes out and he's got 3 or 4 different sizes, and he cuts the glass. In this video, he shows you how to cut the glass, sand it, put it together, and you'll get your water in there where you get those pictures, fish like that, and you put them in these containers, then take your pictures of the fish, and you put your fish back. But it was really interesting to me how he could cut that glass and sand it and glue it together and clamp it and then haul it around. When a marine biologist got to know all this stuff, man. They got to know it. And he could get pictures that quality of any kind of fish he catches, whether it be green sunfish, pumpkin seed, bluegill, bass, no matter what it is, and he'd have 3 or 4 different glass containers with no top on them, and that's what he uses to get the images to the quality that he's got. And man, they're awesome.
Yeah, they sell plastic versions of that very same thing, but I was going to say that glass has got to be so much better, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other scratch so bad. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much.
I want to say hello to Maurice Gason in the house. What's going on, Maurice? How you doing? And I see Outdoor Addiction. What's going on, Jesse? They came in a little late. We want to make sure we say hello to them.
Absolutely. Them guys are hardcore. They come in about every week. We're so happy to have them in here.
We got the whole night crew in here today. They're
We
here.
do.
They had to get up, or they had to get up early to be here. We're on.
You know, I don't know how late you stay up, Dave, but Mark,
I usually stay up until about 10 or so.
Mark and I are up wee hours of the morning sometimes, and these guys run these night shows.
I tried to watch one of Mark's live feed, and it came on at 10, and I was like, I started it, and it was about 15 minutes in it. I was like, I just
I do that to people. I put them right to sleep. But our river is so busy.
No, it wasn't you that did it. It's just a long day.
Our river is so busy here. If it's on a weekend, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, if I don't get out there real late and spend the night out there, it isn't even worth going out there during the day.
I'll tell you what happens to me. I will get in here and I'll get the tying jigs, and somebody will come on like Hogleg or Kenneth or some of these guys late at night. Mike's fishing home and whoever it is. And I'll be sitting there watching them, and I'll doze off. And I'll wake up a couple hours later, and they're gone. Somebody else's.
You're watching somebody else's channel.
There's always something interesting that's going on. People monkey business and them light chats. And last night I won a fishing rod, Lyle, by the way.
Oh, good for you. You're right, Kevin. We have talked in the wee hours of the morning. There's Melissa. You know, she's on there and supports them guys and helps them out a lot. I don't know what all she does besides helping them with that nighttime show, but it's an effort, you know, especially for somebody that's been up all day to stay up all night too. And I know Kenneth and Hogleg and Melissa, they do an outstanding job. So if you're ever up at night, if you haven't checked them guys out, jump in there. It's a lot of fun. They talk about a variety of things, but it's fishing based. So it's worth a shot to take a look at them.
Chrissy Brown, how you doing, dear?
What's that?
Me and a buddy of mine been trying to get his pontoon going, and trying to find somebody to work on the old 2-strokes anymore. Just you can't do it, or it just everybody tells you just go buy a 4-stroke. Well, I mean, like nobody's got gas to fill up their car. Ain't nobody got gas to fill up the 4-stroke and the cost that it would buy the 4-stroke. So
that's right.
They ain't cheap.
We went and looked, and it was $7,000 just for a 60 horse.
That actually isn't a bad price at all, to be honest with you. I've seen $8,000 for 40s.
Yeah.
See that?
I think a lot of it has to do with where you live too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was just like, for a pontoon boat that's 25 years old, and he did redo the deck, but we've been trying to get it done because that'd be ideal, you know, pontoon boat for a wheelchair, just kind of slide from side to side as you hit the waves.
Yeah.
But we've been wanting to go up to Milford Lake here in Kansas, and they got blue cats up there like crazy. And we've just been trying to get up there. My biggest fish this whole year is probably, you know, like 10 pounds. So
did it make you happy, Dave?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I I'll tell you what, I'll show you one of my happiest days this year was, it was crazy because there wasn't a single fish over 5 inches.
That's okay. I like them days too. Jesse says this is his last day of the night shift. He'll be working mornings, and he'll be in here on a regular basis. Well, we're glad to have you, man.
Kimnet wants to know where you're from, Dave.
I am from Kingman, Kansas. 40 miles west of Wichita. This was my funnest day this whole year.
That works for me.
What made that day so special for you?
Because it was only 2 hours and it was about 100 of them.
Oh, there you go.
And it was literally, you throw the jig out and, you let it feed a little line so the jig will just kind of float, down a little bit. And then all of a sudden you just see that little bitty twitch in your line and I'd just lift up and it'd be another one. So.
That's perfect. I got a question to ask you. I know with you tying and stuff, and I've been meaning to ask Kim Burnett about this too. And but do you prefer hooks that have the? Do you mash the barb down on those, or barbless hooks? Do you use barbless hooks? Which way do you prefer to tie?
The only time I will pinch my barb down is if I'm fishing right in the middle of a cedar tree.
In the middle of a cedar tree.
A cedar tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because here in Kansas, we have red cedars. I don't know if it's eastern or western or whatever. I know we have cedar trees that grow everywhere, and the farmers cut them all down. And but when they get 20, 30 feet tall, they just take and cut them down around the lakes, and then they drag them onto the ice, tie a bunch of cinder blocks to them, and sink them. But when they do that, the cedar's got such small, fine branches, you just get hung up so bad. And if you bend that barb back, you can line flick your jig out usually, or at least tip down in there. But the biggest thing is I think we've had this conversation, via text, is circle hooks versus round hooks versus brass hooks, or gold hooks. And if I'm going to be in heavy cover, I'll go to a gold hook because if I'm using 4-pound line, I can usually straighten the hook enough to get it out if I get hung up. But if I'm in open water or throwing onto rocks, I like the sickle hook because the point of the sickle hook sets up higher than the eye, so it's almost always in the top lip. So, and the sickle hook also has a little taller gap. And I mean, I'm a fan of the sickle hook, and I'll tell you what, probably 80% of the time I go fishing, I'm using a sickle hook. But I live in Kansas and it's mostly open water, unless when you're in the cedar brush, right during the middle to the end of the spawn.
Well, one of the reasons why I brought that up, I watched a video the other day of a guy that I'd never seen on before, and he was really struggling to get the hook out of these fish. He was rough with them, getting that barb out of these fish's mouth.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I'm thinking that maybe I try to mash them down or buy barbless hooks. Because I release so many.
Yeah, here's my thought. I release almost all the fish I catch. We've probably eaten fish 6 times this year, so that tells you that I brought home probably 40 fish all year. And mostly we eat crappie or bluegill. I'm a guy. I know that this might upset some people, but I'm the guy that thinks that there needs to be, if you catch a flathead that's over 40 pounds, you should have to let it go. You should not be able to take it home and eat it. Now,
I agree.
Make people mad, but here in Kansas, they're trying an experiment up at Marion Reservoir with a walleye. They actually put a slot limit on walleye, and they're going to see if the walleye can sustain themselves with minimal stocking effort. And if that works, then they're going to go statewide. Now, I know a lot of walleye guys in the state are mad, but why can't you eat all the males and let them big pregnant females during the spawn go until after the spawn?
We have a slot limit for flathead here on the Fox River.
Gregory was scared to run back by.
That's okay.
We have a slot limit here on the Fox. It's 2 under and 1 over, and it's done awesome. In 5 years' time, it's made such a difference.
Well, and there again, you got guys, even some of these crappie guys, they get mad when they go to a lake and there's 50 limit. And I'm thinking, if you're catching 50 crappie there, at least 10 to 12 inches, I mean, how many people are you feeding?
That's right. You don't need that many fish. Lake Ozark and Truman have a 10 under limit because they're so overpopulated with underfish. They want you to take them home, and there's none in the slot. none in the slot, and 2 overs. Now, if you keep the best eating fish, you'll keep your 10 unders and you'll help the Department of Conservation
Yeah.
limit the number of small fish that's in there, and you get to keep more fish. Now, who doesn't like that?
Yeah, and see, we've got a pond that is out at our farm, and the pond's 12 foot deep. It's 105 feet across. It's 700 feet long, and it's spring fed, so it never goes dry. During the drought that we had like 8 years ago, when everybody's pond in Kansas was bone dry, ours was 6 inches low. And at that time, when 8 years ago or about 8-9 years ago, we had crappie in there that were 3.5 pounds in this pond. But there was so much falling down trees. The beaver got in there about 5 years prior to that and knocked all the trees down. So there was cover like crazy. Well, since that point, the crappie have just gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And now we're catching, I've got a couple videos on my channel out of my pond. Hey, the dogs are going. Sorry, guys. Can you hear that?
No, it's
okay. They're growling and going.
That's okay.
Playing. I just was hoping you wasn't able to hear that. But the crappie have gotten smaller in our pond. And then this last year, I got the fish farm guys came out and they seined and they're like, yeah, you're just overpopulated again. Yeah. So I've been even thinking about, getting a hold of, some friends and stuff. Even, I've got a couple Facebook groups that I'm local with here fishing and thinking, maybe have a fish day out there, get some guys out there, fill some coolers or whatever, but if you hook it and you catch it, I don't care if it's 3 inches, you got to take it.
Yeah, there you go.
But there'll be a rule. If you catch one that's over 12 to 14, you got to let it back.
Yeah, let it back.
One's in there. So,
yeah,
but I want to make my pond at least back to the way it was. And in there again, the bluegill got overwhelmed. We used to catch 9 and 10 inch bluegill, and now we're back down to 5 and 6s. Maybe
that's
some
what happens, overpopulation. Now I can tell you how to get rid of a bunch of them, but you got to.
Well, I had the fish farm run the net through, and they took about 3,000 bluegill out of it.
I was going to say put a flathead in there, but you don't want to leave him in there too long.
Yeah, well, last June for the first time we stuck catfish in there, and there's never been catfish in there since that pond was built in the late 60s. So, and we finally put catfish in there now. Gregory caught one last week that was probably maybe 14 inches long, but that thing looked like it had eaten a tennis ball. It had a belly on it that was just round as could be.
Bass will do a number on bluegill and smaller crappie as well.
Yeah.
Well, we have 6-pound bass in the pond, but that's because there's so many bluegill and crappie in there.
Yeah.
I thought about throwing a flathead or two in there, but then the fish farm guys put some catfish in there. The channel cat in a couple of years, they'll control your bluegill. So
yep, that's exactly right. Mr. Gadget has made it into chat. Glad to see him in here. But yeah, a flathead will knock your numbers down, but you can't leave him in there very long, even if it's just one.
Yeah,
them are eating machines. They just are.
Well, and see here, I know a lot of guys. They call me up and be like, "Hey, you got any bluegill?" And I'll be like, "Well, I'll give you some. What lake you going to?" And then I'll have to go to that because in Kansas you can't transport bait from lake to lake.
Right.
So if you catch it, even if you catch it in the river below the dam, you can't take it above the dam. So what I'll do is I got one guy. He goes fishing out at Cheney Lake and he'll call me and he'll be like, "Hey, can you guys get some bait?" So I'll go out the day before or that morning and I'll catch a bunch of bait because he don't go out until 9 or 10 at night. So, and then he'll stop by and get the bait, or I'll meet him there and we'll give him the bait. So,
well,
he gives Gregory, candy and stuff in exchange. I hope that's not not considered buying the bait, but
no, I don't consider it is. But I'm not a game warden either. But I got to tell you, I like candy and I like bait, so it worked out for me.
Now, Gregory has always been our bait getter. Every time we go catfishing, and I'm not just strictly a panfish guy, but that's my main. That's what I enjoy. I'm just as happy catching bluegill as I am catching 30, 40-pound catfish. But now it's been a few years since I've caught something that big. I think about 3 years ago I caught one that was about 40 or so in the river, but couldn't get him up the side of the bank being in the chair, and I'm not going down to there. So
no.
I keep thinking I'm going to go fish Milford Lake here in Kansas. It's got a great mill race and on the dam side, and I've been thinking about crawling my butt down the dang rocks to get to the river just so I can fish.
Turner Fishing, welcome. Glad to see you in here. Haven't had you on the show for a while. Maybe we need to do that again one of these days. Here's something that I want to touch on a little bit. I know we're getting late into the show, guys, but this heat is horrendous. And it's been that way for a month. And it's not
108 the day before yesterday.
108, yeah. See, yeah, and that's just crazy for this time of year.
86 over here.
Oh.
Hush it.
It's 88 right now here. But today I think it only got up to like 98 or 99.
Yeah, we was at 103 earlier. But you're gonna have to start fishing nights or figure something out. It's just
I told Gregory he's gonna have to start getting up with me at 5.
Yeah, the average person just can't deal with this for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
And here's my problem is being in the wheelchair. I can't. I mean, I'm sitting on something.
Yeah.
I can't stand up and let that part cool off.
What do they call them? Row-hos or roll something pads that's underneath of you?
Yeah, I have a row-ho cushion.
Now those are hot.
Yeah.
You might not know it, but it is hot.
Yeah. But you got to set on something that's designed to be set on all day, or you end up getting a sore on your butt, and then you ain't going nowhere but to the hospital. So
that's exactly that's no good. That is no good. Paul Boyd. But yeah, it's those black row-hos. They got to be hot, and you have to put something between you and it to keep from getting sores. And
the worst part's going down the highway when you get to your fishing spot and get the chair out. You got to put something on the chair for a few minutes and think about getting in it so it can shade, because my chair goes in the back of my truck, so it's riding in the sun the whole time.
Oh, the last part of my working career was working for a company that built handicap accessible bands. We built them. I serviced them. I installed every piece of equipment that you could imagine for people to use. Most rewarding job I ever had in my life. There was some crazy stuff that went on when I done that, but it was a very worthwhile effort, and I'm glad. I wished I'd have done it 20 years earlier.
Well, I wished you lived closer, because my kneeling system on my van just went out, and they told me, it needs a new motor. The motor for the kneeling system. So,
what kind of van
you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
I do. Which conversion company is it?
I think it's a Braun. It's a
Braun.
It's an 03 Oldsmobile Silhouette. So since my dad had this stroke and stuff, I just gave it to Mom and told her to use it until she's done.
Yeah, when I
got a 2018 Colorado. You think I want to be in the minivan?
No.
And my Colorado's jacked up, so it's an effort to get into
it. We had Braun and VMI and several of the major, all of the major companies, but we had ones where people need hand controls or whatever, and I would
drive with hand
install all of that, or joysticks for people to drive with, foot controls. I mean, I'd done some stuff, that they'd have me do that I had no idea about, but you learn how to do it, and everything is soldered and put together to where people don't have problems with them. And I loved that job. I really did.
Yeah, I have a friend that he drives with a joystick, like a video game joystick.
Yep, I've done that.
Looks like the old Atari thing.
That's what they look. That's exactly right. The wiring that's in those, you have no idea how complex they are. But they give you plenty of time to do it because they don't want no mistakes. And when we rolled one out there, it was perfect, or it didn't leave.
Yeah, I can imagine the microprocessor that's involved in
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I actually been thinking about, if you think about it, boats are designed for people to, not have to use your feet and stuff. And I really want to get a kayak that does have a motor on it, so we can, I mean, it just be, then I could even tow Gregory around. He won't have to paddle.
I got a guy that I used to work with. He doesn't work for them any longer either. His name is Tom Gold, and I promise you, if there's anybody in the world that could design that, Tom is the guy. Looky
This
here,
thing's trying to attack me.
isn't it cute?
Yeah, this is our new one. We got 2 of them now.
That's awesome, man.
She just put a tongue clear across my eyeballs.
That's what. Did you get your glasses lens?
Yeah. Now I got smudge. I can't see.
I understand.
But no, they're. This has been a whole. I'll lose weight chasing them things around. Let me tell you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Mark, you know what I got? Mark,
Mark, where's your audio?
You're muted, Mark.
I was muted because I coughed. Sorry about that. I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
What you got, Lyle?
I have a package of ZFG fishing jigs to give away tonight, and I also have a package of 5 thumper jig heads to give away tonight. And these are awesome. They're blue and white. If you can see those are really cool looking.
I'll give you the solo layout for that one.
I should have kept these for myself. They're on number 4 sickle hooks, I believe. Maybe number 2s. They're pretty big.
Like 2s to me. They look pretty good size.
Yeah, they're pretty good size.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to throw these in on that there, Lyle.
Excellent.
These are my hybrids. These are the ones that caught my 13 and 15-inch crappie this year. So
do you want to give both packs to one winner or to 2 winners?
Well, we can do a pack to each if you're going to do 2.
There you go. Give 2 giveaways right there. That's awesome.
The ones with the pink heads are a little heavier, but they all work.
Dave, we appreciate that a whole bunch.
We sure do. Thank you very much for your generosity.
Yeah, just when you find out who the winner is, you can send me their address and I'll just mail them to them direct and throw a sticker.
And they can contact you on Facebook, right, Dave?
On Facebook, I'm under my name, David Lemen.
Yeah,
but there is 2 accounts, so you got to find the one that has recent posts.
Okay, yeah, and anybody that has trouble finding Dave, all you got to do is contact me and I'll hook you up.
And you can find me on Instagram, Double Hook Angling on Instagram. So
perfect.
And be sure to go check out his YouTube channel. You will love it, I promise.
Links in the description. And
I will get more fishing videos out before too long. We got to get through this heat, guys.
Oh,
this
dude.
heat is something else. I'm telling you.
It is, and you understand, guys.
They need to make an air conditioner, go underneath the wheelchair and blow up right between well, never mind.
Yeah. Well, guys in Texas, they're used to it. In Louisiana, down there where Creole's at, he's used to this heat.
Hey,
us boys up in Missouri,
when I lived in Texas, I didn't think it was that bad until I moved to Kansas, and then you get twice the humidity with the same heat, and I was like, "Wow, really?"
That's right.
It's worse there than it is in Texas.
Oh yeah. My family, when they come here, they're dying.
Yeah,
they're all walking around with tea jugs and water jugs and everything else going, I don't know how you can handle this.
Dave, do you know where Ballinger, Texas is?
No, I do not.
Okay, it's kind of in the middle between San Angelo and there's 3 big towns out there, and Ballinger's kind of in the middle. It's not a very big town. I went down there in the mid-'90s to help the guy open up a Ford dealership. And for the first 6 months that this dealership was open, there hadn't been a dealership in there for several years. I was the salesman. I ordered the cars. I stocked the parts department. I fixed the cars. I was the only one there. I'd done everything that needed to be done because the guy had to sell a dealership and move out of there so he could come down there, bring his family, and set up a house. So we would go to bed at night and it'd be 101, 102, and get up in the morning, it'd be 95. And this is in West Texas. And in the daytime, it'd get up above 110. And there was only so much of that an old fat man could handle. I got to tell you, it was just
I
crazy.
spent I spent some of my younger teenage years, 13, 14 or so in Waco at my aunt's during the summer. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about, that in Midland. Both of them. Midland, I think, was worse. And the stickers in Midland.
Yeah.
The stickers was just as bad as the heat, but we slept with the windows open and a fan on. We did not
Midland,
have AC.
Yeah.
when we opened that Ford dealership up, we was so new that Midland had a huge dealership and it was very well established. So we done a lot of dealer trading with those guys. So yeah, I'm familiar with Midland, and it was quite a ways, but we could usually get next day service over. Where if you ordered from Ford, you couldn't get next day service. You just couldn't. So that's how come I know where Midland's at, but it's way over on the west side. But the sandstorms, holy crap!
Yeah, my
Oh, it was not Mister Gadget, Smarty Pants.
I didn't highlight that. Just yeah, my probably my best friend here used to live next door to me. His son goes to Baylor down there in Waco, so he tells us how hot it gets down there.
Yeah, I have a good friend of mine that's a guide down there. Does really well.
Well, I missed what I missed down there was the rock bass. They actually had true, little brown coppery rock bass. And here in Kansas, when I go fishing, people are like, "Oh, look at this rock bass," and I'm like, "That's a green perch."
Yeah, it's a green sunfish.
Green sunfish. And here we call them perch. I mean, everything's called perch.
Yeah, everything's a perch. Yep.
Yeah.
I understand. How many we got in there, Mark?
We have 32 people in there. We'll give them one last chance to do this. We will use the same pool of names for each drawing, if that's okay with you guys.
That's okay with me. Which ones are we giving away first?
Well, you had mentioned the ZFGs first, so why don't we do those first?
That'll be fine. We'll go ahead and roll them, and I will write the name down on here so I know who gets it. And if you are a winner of the first two that are coming from Panfish Nation, just message me on Messenger through my personal thing, through Panfish Nation, through Catfish Weekly, or you can email me at lyle@panfishnation@gmail.com.
All right, here we go. This is for the first one right here. Let's go. Where round and round it goes, where it stops, nobody knows.
We'll know in a minute.
Mr. Kitty Whiskers, congratulations. Get a hold of Lyle, and he'll get to you.
Thanks so much for watching our show. We appreciate it very much. You have your name on the package, so I know who gets that one.
Perfect. Are we ready to draw again, or do you want to make them wait a little bit?
Go ahead and do it. That way we give them a break in between times to win Dave's.
Here we go. Here's the thumpers. Let's
These
see.
are gorgeous.
Creole catfishing. Creole, those jig heads that were good for bullheads too. They will not get gut hooked with those jig heads.
That's right. Jeremy, I know that you'll send me a message, and I don't have your shipping address here, but you send me a message, and I'll make sure them babies get right out to you. Appreciate you watching our show. And Jeremy, thanks for everything you do for the sport.
You're an inspiration, that's for sure.
It sure is. Oh, the Dave's after my heart. Got his fly swatter.
I got him too.
I think I
had
told
to
you
smack my leg in the process, but I got it.
I keep a back scratcher and a fly swatter and all kinds of stuff right here handy.
Well, they've
I got
been
one
so
in the
bad
truck.
lately.
I got that in my when you hit 40 starter kit. It was included in there. Dad, and like one of them shoe horns that you don't have to bend over to use. That's what happens when you get old.
One of these?
Yeah, one of those.
I got
one of them home. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't need that. It's like
yes,
for your grandma.
You might not today, but at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Creole catches a shark on one of these jigs, I'm going to need video on that, buddy.
You want pictures for proof, right?
That's right. You catch them like he does. Holy crap! I did see a video of a guy that caught one and pulled up beside the boat. 2 or 3 people have shared that out, and he reached down to grab a hold of it, and the shark got a hold of him. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'll pass on that. I'm not real big on this. But Dave, have you had any trouble actually getting stuff to tie with?
Yes,
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
I made an order of like I think I ordered only like a dozen feathers, about a year ago, like a dozen packs,
right.
just a whole thing. And then, so like 2 of them came in like a month later, and then 3 months later, another 4 or 5 came in. Well, by then I'd ordered, another 24 packs or whatever. Well, nothing came in. And then all of a sudden, about a month and a half ago, I literally got an entire box now because like the stuff I ordered, I think it was actually like 16 months ago, finally came in.
Yeah.
So now, and then he's like, well, hey, your order's in. And I was like, okay, well, I'll come over and get it. And I'm thinking I'm going to go over and spend, 40, 50 bucks and, 200 and some dollars later, because he's like, here, all your stuff came in.
Well, and the prices by the time you get it has increased.
Well, and
twofold.
the bad thing is the price is the same, but used to be you could get a quarter ounce, and you go and I'll get the feathers, and I'm a stickler. I'll go weigh it, and they've been only giving you 3/16.
That doesn't surprise me.
So you're missing 20 some feathers.
I wished I knew how to and what they use to dye them with, because regular dye that you buy around local
T-shirt dye.
T-shirt dye, is that what it is?
I've been told T-shirt dye. I've been thinking myself, I can get white marabou right now, but that's about the only color I can get that I don't have to wait for, unless I just want to buy little quarter ounce packages or 1/8 ounce packages.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking, well, if you're going to buy a quarter pound or a half pound of marabou, just buy white and then think about dyeing. So then I started looking into, there's some T-shirt dyes now that they have that just hold vibrant colors for like tie dyeing and stuff. And, and some of them are even fluorescent. So when you get underneath black light, that it'll show up for when you're doing your whole thing with your T-shirt. Well, why wouldn't that work for a feather?
It would.
Yep.
So it's kind of what I've been looking into. And I tie enough jigs. I really don't want to tie, too many more. I mean, I think last year I was at 4,000, 5,000 jigs. This year I'm at 20 some 100 already.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of,
I can't imagine how many I've tied up this year.
Yeah. Lyle's been busy.
I don't know. I need to get more tied, but I've kind of, everybody that's wanted stuff's kind of got stuff, and I've got a few orders to fill. Besides that, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say we do this giveaway, guys?
That's it. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it so much. Now these are for Dave's jigs, right?
Yeah, these are for Dave's jigs. We got 2 of them to give away for Dave. Well, thank you very much. Maurice Kaysen, what's up, Maurice? Congratulations, buddy.
Right on.
Long time great viewer of ours and a lot of other channels. Maurice Kaysen's a great guy to have on your team, man.
All right, we'll do the last one. And how do you want him to get in touch with you again, Dave?
Just if he can hit me up on Instagram, or he can get a hold of Lyle, and Lyle can just message me if that's okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Anything, however you want to do it, Maurice, and I will make sure to get it to him. Kim says he's at 7,000.
I know, I saw that.
Joe Buck.
Oh, Joe Buck.
Been on a roll here lately. He's been winning everything.
Congratulations, Maurice and Joe Buck. We appreciate you.
Like I say, if you can't get a hold of Dave on Facebook or Instagram, then just send me your information and I will forward it to him and make sure he gets it, and he will get them babies shipped out to you.
I'm gonna have to give Joe some crap for that one. He gets some jigs now. He said something about jigs last week, I think.
I've sent him a bunch of stuff here lately. He's been winning the crap out of stuff. But hey, you know what? This deal that Mark uses is made by StreamYard. In my opinion, it's the most fair way to do it because Mark and I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's in a program, and wherever that program, hell, you might win 3 or 4 times a night. You just don't know. But it's always fair, and if you win, you win, and I like it. Realistic fishing.
What's going on, Alex?
Welcome to the channel, Alex. We would sure love to have you as a guest sometime. Give me a message if you're interested. I've sent you a couple, but I know that you are on a limited time deal. But some great bass videos coming out from Realistic Fishing the last couple of weeks. If you haven't checked him out, go check out Alex's channel. I know that if you're not a subscriber to him, you need to be because he does a great job.
Yep, I've watched plenty of his stuff too.
I love his video stuff, and man, when he was going in there and get climbing on them dudes about cleaning them deer and leaving the carcasses laying there, who doesn't appreciate a guy that's got enough stones to say something about it? You know what I mean? Thank you.
That's one thing. And my mouth sometimes gets me in trouble, especially when I see the guys physically throw the trash down or.
Yeah, mine does
something.
Mine's always getting me in trouble. But hey,
yeah, nobody usually argues with the angry guy in the wheelchair, anyways.
Dave, I want to thank you for being part of our show.
Oh, hey, I appreciate it, guys. I'm enamored. You guys wanted to talk to me.
It was a pleasure talking to you. And
it's a great honor. And this thing just, I don't know what it is. They just like my beard, man.
They know you're on screen. They want to steal your attention. That's all.
That's exactly
she kept
right.
popping on me, so I thought maybe she'd calm a minute if I picked her up, but that was a mistake. So.
Well, we appreciate you taking your time out on a Thursday evening to spend it with Mark and I. We'd love to have you back on here at some point. We'll talk about tying jigs or catching fish or something. But
we can have them back when we start tying jigs again on Saturday nights.
We need to do that.
If you're willing.
Yeah. We get together on a Saturday night sometimes, and we tie a bunch of jigs and let people watch us tie them up. Then we give them away.
And we make
anytime you guys want me on, you just holler at me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think it's awesome. I love what you guys do. I've been watching you guys. I mean, for a short time, I've probably just a month or two now. Well, probably 2 or 3 months now, I guess. But the catfish one that Mark's got, I've only been on that for about a month now. So
I appreciate your subscription.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys checking my stuff out and spreading my word. So, and like I said, I just want to get young people into tying, and I try to tie the simplest way I can think of. And if I got like my Drake, my green Drake or brown Drake, or I can't even remember what I named that video. I think it was brown Drake or something. But my Drake on a jig hook video, a couple videos back, I worked on that thing and I tied that thing 35 different ways before I come up with the simplest enough of a way that it looked proper and could be used.
So, I do the same thing. I might make a dozen of them before I get one that I think is good enough to show somebody.
Yeah.
Once I get it, I think it's good.
That little beetle is my second attempt. That little black beetle I showed you was my second attempt. And I'll probably have another dozen, but I think I'll put too much deer hair in that one because it's pretty tall. But
yep, I understand.
We'll get her down. It just takes time. You got things you like and things you want to do, and you get things stuck in your head. And if you don't go tie it, you'll just go crazy thinking about it.
Oh, I know. I sit here and think about colors and where they go in the front or the back, and what goes with them to make it do what I want it to do. And
I was thinking about tying some flies earlier, and my wife was like sitting there talking to me, and she goes, "Are you listening to me?" And I said,
"Oh yeah, I'm listening."
Oh yeah, what? Oh,
I understand.
I got in trouble anyway. But.
Well, listen, Dave, thanks so much.
Oh,
Hang
yeah.
tight. We'll get out of here and get it.
Don't
I
go
want
nowhere
to
yet.
want to
Hey,
thank
Lau, what do
you.
you got going on Monday?
Let me see. I don't really know.
This weekend, I'll be on Brian B's catfishing show. He's having his tournament, Midnight Madness. It starts at 11 p.m. my time. That's Central Time. 12 o'clock on the East Coast. It goes till 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning my time. Tune in to watch us fish and cut each other up. It should be a great night. Monday, we got Catfish Weekly. And who's your guest on that, Lyle? Did you
I
find
don't
it?
have a guest for Monday night. I was talking with Josh and Chad, and we had a couple of ideas, and I can't remember if one of them's this week and one of them's next week, and which one's what. So I'll have to post all
Tune
that.
in anyways, folks. It'll be a good show no matter
It'll be
what
fun.
happens.
Whatever it was really a great idea. The three of us come up with, so we want to make sure we get that done. But who's your guest? You say, Mark?
I got Chewy from Carver Bait and Tackle up north from the
That'll
great
be a
state of
great show,
Minnesota.
guys. Make
That'll
sure
be
you
a good
tune
show.
into that.
And you never know who may pop in.
You never know. I got an idea though.
He's already been making suggestions. So.
Well, I thank everybody for watching the show tonight. We'll see you next Thursday night on Panfish Nation.